Hi, I'm Rhonda from Beck's Bakery. Today we're going to make something a little different. We're going to do Atole, which is this warm, thick, spicy hot drink. I learned about it when I went on a trip to Mexico. I'm going to change it up a little bit. It's usually made with corn, but I'm going to do it with rye flour today. And I'm adding some Northern California hippie chick kind of things too. So you'll see it's got lots of ability to move in different directions, lots of opportunities to try new flavors and things with it, but you'll see how I make it. Atole usually is made with corn. Today I'm going to do it with rye flour. This has been soaking for about an hour. When you have a flour, you don't have to soak it as long. So we're going to do rye flour today. Our sweetener is going to be, we use dates. These are soaked in water, hot water overnight, and it softens them. You don't have to soak them, but it just makes them, whirl them in the food processor. It makes them break apart much better. Then we're also going to do some coconut flakes in there. Often is made with a coconut milk, but I'm trying to pull back on some of the saturated fat, so I'm just going to use coconut flakes for the coconut flavoring. I made this soaker. It's 75 grams of rye flour and 200 grams of room temperature water, and I just mixed it up with a fork to kind of get it broken apart. So there's just still a few chunks of unmixed flour, but it looks like it's going to be fine. The rye water mixture into the NutriBullet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this just makes it lightly sweetened. If you want it a little more sweet and you don't want to use, a table sugar or anything, you can add other alternative things to it. If you don't have dates, you can use maple syrup, agave syrup. You can also just add plain old sugar to it and it'll be fine. Okay, next up is 2 tablespoons of coconut. And then I'm also going to add just a little extra water to this because it does look like it's going to be a little thick. And you'll want to use a blender. The date chunks are pretty broken up. Can't even see the coconut anymore. So I'm going to pour this into my saucepan, and I'm going to add a bit more water to get the rest of the goodies out of there. We're going to end up using probably 3-4 cups of water altogether. I'm just going to rinse that out. Cook this now. You want to cook the starches that are in the flour. That's what's going to make it even thicker. Because we're in Northern California and a hippie chick is doing this, we're adding turmeric. And I'm just going to do a couple coins of turmeric. Pepper, I'm just going to do a pinch. How much is that? That might be about a 1/16 of a teaspoon. Actually, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. About a 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. You can always add more if you love this stuff. I just want to get it warmed up. Once it starts bubbling a bit, then I'll turn the heat down to it so we can let it simmer for about 10 minutes. It takes about that long for the starches to break open and release all the thickening agents in there, and then also just to get rid of the raw starch flavoring. You don't want to taste raw flour in here. All right, now we're starting to get some thickening happening. Here, you can see what it's looking like. It's definitely thick. You want to stir it frequently. While this is cooking, I'm going to show you how to make the softened dates. So I've just got some organic pitted dates from the grocery store, and just load them in. Them down a smidge, and then I've just got boiling hot water. And I just barely cover them. Pickled pebble is what they call that. Sit out for a couple hours, and then I'll move it to the refrigerator. And I like using it for things like a place that I want to sweeten something without using refined sugar. Okay, the timer went off. And the starch is almost cooked. I think we need a couple more minutes, so I'm going to put it on there for 3 more minutes. This last 3 minutes, I'm going to add some vanilla extract. It's in about 1/4 teaspoon. And as a special treat, I'm going to add some rosewater. And rye and rosewater go really well together. You can also use orange blossom water, and I find this in the international food aisle. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of rosewater. Smells incredible. All right, I'm going to add a tablespoon first. This is evaporated cane juice. That's the timer. I don't have a ladle. Rose petals on top of there. And there you are. Atole made with rye flour.